Welcome back to the Got Her Back podcast.
Hey, boo.
Hey.
What you doing?
We are 1 year old today.
Happy birthday.
Can you believe we made it to 1 year?
Well, I know. We did.
We made it a whole year. Bitch. Maria didn't make it.
I know. Maria didn't make it.
Maria.
I know. She told us so a year ago.
She did tell
She
us.
told us early on.
It was really funny whenever I was coming in to record. I was talking to Paul and I was like, well, Maria's not going to be here. And he was like, well, I mean, she told you she probably wouldn't make it very long. I was like,
He
yes,
remembered.
she did. He was like, well, she's been saying it. I was like, yeah, she really
She
did.
has. She only wanted to quit like episode 2 and then stuck it out
So
for
we
us.
were laughing. I was like, yeah, that is true. But he actually remembered. So I thought that was really funny.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Maria.
Oh, Maria. I got to text that girly.
I
See
know.
what she's doing. It's New Year.
It
I
is.
love a new year.
New year, new you.
Do
boo.
you love a new year? Like,
I do. It's like
I
a fresh
really-
start. It's like a
why
cleansing.
do we feel like that at the beginning of the new? Like, we could feel like that any day.
I know.
But why do we feel like that?
I don't know. It's like clock strikes 12.
It's like, okay, 2025.
I know.
That means the 90s was like 30 years ago. Is that not
Girl.
crazy?
Girl.
I'm used to thinking of the 90s like 10 years ago.
I'm older than you. I was born in the 70s, not the 80s. I'm not an 80s
Oh,
baby.
dang.
So, yeah, it's a long time. It's a long time. I'm on the downhill slide to 50.
What what are your goals for 2025? Like, are you one to like, I know you're very goal oriented because you're an athlete.
Yeah.
And so I know that do you feel that drive like at the beginning of the year, like for new goals and stuff, like with your business or like just in general, personal wise?
This
Was
is
that a
funny.
big question?
No, because we talked about it last year, but it's like I used to be that girl that was like, go to the gym and I'd like, and then not cancel a membership. And so I'm like past that, like I'm like,
Staying
okay,
on
I'm staying out of that lane.
Just staying on the
I'm not,
Ozempic.
no, but career-wise, so I'm not like one of those goal
Yeah.
setters, but yeah, for sure, my career, I'm always going to be steadfast in that. Like,
Yeah.
I think my goal this year is to find 2 more.
Locations
No.
or agents?
No, nothing with insurance, actually. Well, one of them is insurance related.
2 more streams of income.
Yeah, 2 more streams of income. So I have rental, insurance, financial planning. So I have 3.
Mm-hmm. You want 5.
I want 5. I want 5 total.
I like that goal.
Yeah, girl.
I'm going to be in one of those goals.
That's this right here.
Yeah.
And then like I'm branching out on my insurance and doing some other things with it to just make it like a whole separate business. Yeah. And so I just came out of it was a rough year. We talked about that before. It was a rough year career wise. I mean, it was a rough year period.
So what was
but-
it in general that made, I mean, I hear this, well,
So we're in
I've heard
DFW.
it with all
Everybody,
areas.
yeah.
I'll just say that like it was our hardest year
Right.
ever
Mhm.
in 13 years. Like this
Right.
was the hardest year. And I've talked to many business owners that were like, we've done this many times that have been through different recessions and different
Yeah.
things. And they said, we can pull those files and show you it looks exactly like this.
Mhm.
And then it comes back
back
up.
around.
Like just, they said the businesses that actually, make it this
Mm-hmm.
year and make it through that are the ones that will like absolutely thrive
Girl, it's
whenever it
survival
comes
of the
back
fittest
up.
up in this piece.
Yeah,
I mean, for sure.
it
Like
is.
survival of the fittest. Like it's the Hunger
I'm
Games.
so proud because I feel like ours is like thriving right now.
Yeah,
Like it was
you
really
are.
hard this year,
Yeah.
but we're finishing really strong.
Yeah.
And like usually this is kind of like a slower time. Like a lot of times people don't like doing things like
And if
that.
you look back, like I know it was like a struggle, but to be honest, like if you look back on your year, I feel like it was probably slow for both of us when it needed to be slow. You know what I mean? Like we just
Yeah.
weren't at a mental capacity to probably handle the normal stress of what being busy like that. Could you imagine how you felt 6 or 8 months ago and being this busy?
Oh my gosh.
You wouldn't make it. You wouldn't. I mean, you would. But
I mean,
it would just.
I would have probably
been,
had a mental
Yeah,
breakdown.
you would have been miserable.
Yeah, I
You'd
would have been miserable. And like,
Yeah.
because I think back on it and I'm like, that was exactly what I needed. And I'm lucky that I had the person and the space and the time to be able to do that, that allowed me like the downtime to be able to do that, because I have never had that ever in my whole life. So
I went through so many days in the last year, like in my office thinking like I've worked myself out of a job. Like I don't like that's supposed to be everybody's dream, right? But I'm so implanted in my offices that I'm like, I don't know what that feels like. So I don't want that for myself. Like I don't want to go to work and be bored. I don't want to go to work and not have something to do. And so lately I've noticed in the last 30 days, like things are turning. So with insurance in like Texas, California, Florida, and other parts around the country, the things that are the worst were like inflations, like cost of goods. So like car parts were high. And then things that are out of our control, like here in Dallas Fort Worth, is the hail.
The weather.
Yeah, it's the weather. So I feel like I'm like the weather girl because I'm like constantly looking like on
so
edge.
has it affected you guys because your rates are going up?
Well, yes,
because of all those
but
things?
it's underwriting changes. So the company,
it.
it's like things that come down that you can't control. So the company will be like, well, we're not going to write this business anymore. Or we're not going to do this. So things that I'd had access to or to be able to do, I had to like
They're limiting
evolve.
you.
Right. And so it just, but it seems like it was like that for 18 to 24 months and we're finally like coming out of it again. So I think this will be a growth year, which is great. And I hope to grow, naturally and by acquisition again. So like maybe open up another spot, like buy somebody else out. Because some people made it through like barely hanging on a thread through the last year, but then now they're tapped, you know what I mean? Like they're ready to go. And so, which I think is crazy. Like if you made it through the craziest time, like it should show you like, okay, I can make it through anything, but that's not always the mindset of people.
A lot of people's mentality isn't the same.
Yeah. And if they get burned out, they're just like, I'm done. You know what I mean? And so I know what that feels like to be burned out. I've been out. I'm human, right? Like even though I'm like a workhorse machine, like I know what it feels like to be burned out. I know what it feels like to feel like, if something personal is going on in my life, like when I lost Tristan and I'd go to work or going through a divorce and I'd go and stare at the walls and be like, are you ever going to just get it back again? Like get that feeling. And it comes full circle. It comes full circle. I'm like, we talked about this in the last episode, but this time last year, like going into January, I would say like October, November, December, January, all the way into probably I hit rock bottom in March of this year.
Spring break.
Yeah, spring break. Like that's when I kind of hit my rock bottom. Like it was probably the worst I'd felt like just on the inside probably in my entire life. And I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot of tragedy. I've been through a lot, but I just was at such a low because I felt like
I was scared.
Yeah, it was rough. I mean, it was rough. But, like what I learned, it was a lot of things about myself is like, I know I'm tough, right? But you don't always want to be the tough girl, right? You don't want to always be the strong girl. And people look at me all the time. They're like, you're the strongest woman I know. And sometimes I just want to cringe and be like, I don't want to be that all the time. You know what I mean? Like I'm tired of being the strong girl. And I felt like I was coming out of a situation where nothing was ever good enough. And I was never, ever going to be that person's person. And I had to just come to Jesus with myself and be like, look, you gave it everything you had.
Yeah.
You're not a failure. Wipe dust yourself off, pick yourself up. And I had to rebuild me. And I had to get back and to rebuild yourself after 20 years. That's a lot, girl. That's a lot. And I still have so much more work to do, but like, I feel free.
Yeah.
I feel liberated. I feel like, maybe the strongest I've ever felt.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like, okay, God, what else do you got for me? Like coming at you swinging, you know what I mean? But it is like, it just comes like off of that. And I'm the type that, like now I'm like diving back in and like I had lost my thought process on like what is the best thing to do when it comes to my business, which is I don't ever want to feel like I'm in a fog. And I felt like I was like in a 12, 15-month fog. And coming out of that feels so good.
It's amazing that you had a team like that.
Yeah.
That allows you to do that. And that you can say, hey, I cannot be present today. I can't come in. I have to take care of myself and know that your business is okay.
Yeah.
And people are handling all of your stuff. It might not be exactly the way you would do it, but it's you have a very good team.
I do. I
have the best team
blessed.
I've ever had too. And I feel blessed too, to be able to say that, to be able to be like, I know if I'm not there, all of my clients are going to be treated just like I would treat them. Everything's going to be clean. Everything's going to be run the way that it's supposed to. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're both in like a really good spot like that.
I think it also for you, like when your business was slow, it gave you time to be with Gabe and for you guys to like really reconnect and to reconnect on that level. Like, I know it's always felt for y'all like you just never even missed a beat. You know what I mean? Like I get that, but like I felt like y'all watching it from the outsider end, like y'all needed that time to like just really bond and reconnect and have that moment. And had you been really busy, y'all wouldn't have got that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like leading up to our like family vacation, I felt like you kind of had that. And then kind of when we got back, it was slow a bit because around, you know, it's always slow for you in August and school time. And then now, like, I feel like going into like October, November, December, it's been like full force for you again. And I know like you driving, you know, pretty much from Gabe's house across to the town every day, 2 hours there and 2 hours back. Like that's got to be a beater. I know that's so tough. You're like just smiling.
Because
like,
I want to cry thinking about it sometimes.
But you know what I like? It's been rough like the last week or two just because I was like, you know, I was crunching year-end numbers and, you know, making sure I had all my boxes checked. And I just was literally like dug in my own hole, like trying to just make sure I was good, you know, and it was a lot of money on the line. So but I will miss those talks that we have because we've had some long, like great conversations, just like me and you, like as best friends and on our drives, you know, like I'll call you.
I love
like,
it.
I do too.
I love those.
I love you.
I love them. I love my drive talks. That's why I like can't be mad at the drive that much.
Yeah.
I do get work. What does Gabe call it? Windshield time. He says that's your windshield time.
Yeah.
Like you just take advantage of it. Any like calls, whatever you can do. So if somebody's like wanting to do phone consults with me or talk about a class or something like that, I'll be like, hey, can you chat at 5 o'clock or whatever?
Yeah.
And then we'll just, instead of having to do that at work or whatever, like I try to do that, try to catch up with you because I know you're driving because you have drives as well. Call my mama, call Risa, you know, check up on all my peeps, call my kids, call Brylan, see what state he's in, see what he's doing, see what his girlfriend's name is this week, you know,
What's
all
the flavor of the week?
And so I just feel like I get to like, you know, because like, you know how Gabe and I are. So I feel like when I do get there, we're like, bloop, you know, but we like to, he likes to do joint calls though at night. He'll be like, call Meg. Call Meg, put it on speaker. Call Meg and put it on speaker. or call boys. No, lately it's call Dean, put him on speaker. Or he'll call Dean and put him on speaker. But like, it's funny, like we had an epiphany the other night because we were like, oh my gosh, my dad and Gabe have some similarities. And he was like, did you marry your dad?
Oh, Dean.
And I was like, in a way. And it's funny because he has like qualities of Bois and he has qualities of my dad.
Yeah.
But like the good ones, you know? So it's interesting how they say you gravitate towards your dad or, you know, whatever sometimes. So I think that that's really funny. And I'm really jazzed because I won't have that drive after March 17th. And so the new studio I'm like super excited about.
Well, you should tell yourself you probably won't have that after like March 5th because it's spring break and you probably will like tick that off.
Yes.
So,
we were talking about that at work day. We're like, we need to figure out like our cutoff date to like pack, move, reopen, you know, all those things and kind of look at when is our spring break and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we'll be in the new place. We'll be closer to home.
No joke.
Danny's like super excited about it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like,
what are your goals? Like, you think just getting moved and
getting moved? My goal is like to be like debt free. Like I feel like when you go through a divorce and you like can pile up a little bit of debt. Like I'm not used to that. And it was slow. So I really would love to be debt free.
Yes.
Focus on my trainings more again. So I have like a lot of different things in the works for that. So I'm excited to like see all that come. I don't know, because like I do feel like I was so burnt out. Like I think you're right. Like I think I did need the time to just like, oof, like it was hard being slow, but it makes you grateful.
But you're also like, you also were in a place like with Gabe, like Gabe had your back. I mean, Gabe pays everything. He pays the house payment. He pays all the bills. Like you're over there going, what can I pay for? Which is, you never had that.
Gabe,
you know what I mean?
Gabe is so like awesome. Like I try to do like as much as I can. Like I try to help him like, what do you need? What can I do?
Yeah.
Like cook, clean, groceries.
But he doesn't expect that.
No,
you know what I
I
mean?
just try to find ways that I can help him because he's such a provider naturally and a natural like leader, fixer, all the things. And like next year I'm excited because I do want to like help. Like I do want to like help and start like working towards a goal of like when we're going to retire. Like,
Right.
I've never thought I would be with somebody who's like, you're planning like your retired life with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sitting on that porch, rocking in the chair.
Yes, we rock in our rocking chairs and we're talking about
Yeah.
retiring. And I'm like, that's like a goal for this year, is like to really like financially plan for like the future and not have any debt and being able to do whatever we want to do. You know what I mean? Still maintain a lifestyle that we want, simplify it, but also be able to do, you know, what we want and not have
Right.
to work like our whole lives and miss out, you know, on so much. Like, where do we want to be? Like, we're like, do we want to be in the mountains?
Yeah.
Do we want to be on a beach? Do we want to be here? I'm like, let's be honest. When you have grandkids, you're
Yeah.
not going anywhere. You
No
know what I mean?
joke. Yeah.
Because he's like a very hands-on dad. So I can only imagine him when
With
there's grandbabies.
Yeah.
He's going to be like a pile of like mush,
Mhm.
and he's not going to be able to move. Because we do love like Santa Fe and we love mountains, and that's why we like to go. But I just can't see him actually. He thinks he can.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't, good for you. But I really, we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. But those are some things that I'm
Like
kind of like
personalized.
excited.
I think my
about.
personal goals are going to be like, I'm just not going to focus on trying to like find a relationship or find a man. I'm just
You
going to let
got
it like,
you
I'm
got
just
a son
dating.
graduating this year.
I know.
So isn't
I
that
know.
crazy?
It is crazy. It is.
Like taking all that in. Like I
Yeah.
remember I was working so much Brylan's senior year and just had so much stress. And
Mhm.
like I feel like I looked up and he was walking the stage and I was like, I missed it. You know what I mean? So that's gonna be fun for you this year to like really like take in all of that.
It's been nice
senior
just to
year.
like, I think that if I like, I don't want to press anything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to, it's how I got married. You know, like I've pressed so many things in my life and I
Mhm.
don't want to like force something to work. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to come naturally and I want to get okay with being by myself. You know, I think like, and then maybe the right person will just come to me.
It'll
you know?
just be so attracted to you
Yeah.
because you'll just be so like not caring
Yeah.
about that right now.
And it's rough. It's rough dating because it's like I feel it's rough. It's rough out there in them streets, girl. And I'm really meant for the
I
streets.
listen to you and I listen to my
Oh,
clients and I'm
Lord.
like,
but
Lord,
it is. But the thing is like,
it's okay, Megan. So what is this? Tell everybody what this is.
well, every day I have a call when I don't have Spencer. My phone's going off because it was in my lap, and so see, it's my Spencer snooze button. Let me hit stop so it doesn't come on again.
Do you need a caller?
No, I have her.
okay.
So, but I set it every day because if not, then I'll forget. So my time window to call is 7 to 7:15. So I have to be like on it. So I've got an alarm on my phone.
Real life problems.
Yeah, 99
Hashtag real
problems,
life.
but ain't one.
So Meg's gonna focus on being independent and alone. Like, I mean, just
mean,
like being
I am-
okay with being okay. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, I just I've went on some crazy dates again, and oh my Lord, it's just I'm like, is this my real
can
life?
we please have an episode coming up
Girl,
just about
yeah,
dating
I mean,
stories?
I feel like here we go again. Taylor Swift to dating. I mean, it's the Hunger Games. It's survival of the fittest out there. But you know what? That's okay because I'm probably gonna have to go through 100 frogs to get the right one. And every one of those people, just like the relationship I just got out of, was totally worth it because it's worth me taking a leap of faith.
Yeah.
In order to find my person. You know what I mean? Like,
It's worth it, girl.
yeah, it's worth it because if I hold back and I don't ever take the leap of faith, even though I potentially could get hurt, then I'm never going to find anybody. You know what I mean? But I know this, I will never settle again.
Yeah.
Ever. Not a day in my life. Like,
Yeah.
I know that I've created boundaries. I'm learning to stick to my boundaries. The old Megan, you know, getting out of that last relationship, I would have begged him back. I would have been like, and no.
You have had some major growth.
Yeah.
I'm
I
proud
was
of
like,
you.
not happening. So was I devastated because I took him around my kids? Of course. I'm human, you know? So I just have learned, like,
Yeah.
I wanted to see, like, he had shown me so much, like, in 4.5 months, I was, like, red flagging it and the fact, like, are people really this nice? You know what I mean? Because I'd never had nice. And so I was like, I didn't know what nice felt like. And I had girlfriends. And of course, you were like, yes, people are really that nice. And not just you, multiple people. They were like, no, there are good men out there.
There are
you
very
know?
good men.
And so it's like, you don't want all the idiots to like not let you, you know, find your person.
Enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but when he showed me who he was and who he really is 4.5 months down the road when he flipped a script. He made a total 180, started talking to me different, all within a matter of days.
Yeah.
You know, never even looked at me crazy. And I was like thinking, he's the most perfect person ever. You know what I mean? But once he showed me who he was, the old Megan would have just let the red flag hit me in the face and been like, whoop, here we go.
Can we get a red flag like this?
Yeah, I need a red flag.
That we hold
Yeah,
up.
it's like my
sometimes
favorite
where
emoji
I don't have
right
to say it.
now.
I'll just go.
Yeah. And so I just, I woke up and I had wrote him a letter, texted it to him, and I was like, good luck. I'm out.
And I love that because it was just like, okay, yeah, it was 4.5 months. And
and never looked back. I'm not going to look back. I'm not going to circle the block anymore.
Yeah.
No more circling the block. I'm not coming back to that. No, I don't care if you check my TikTok. I don't care. Like, people never realize what they have until it's gone, right? Like, I think that's just human nature. And especially people that are manipulative and don't do things for the right reasons, and then they show their true colors. Like, they don't ever realize that. And I think it was a test. He was testing me. Like, I've lived that push and pull life for a long time. It's like, like, give you a bunch, take it back. Give you a bunch, take it back. And I'm not doing that because it's so unhealthy.
It reminds me of like Risa, like what happened to her.
Dating.
Very similar, the whole experience. Like, it was like very perfect. I mean, he was awesome. I mean, we were like, wow, like, is this for real? You know what I mean? And then one day,
he just flipped a script.
Take it all away, completely different, discarded her, just mind games, like no communication. It was like a completely different person. I felt so bad for her. And like, she went on this journey of like, I just want to, focus on me, be okay, because she was widow. So she felt vulnerable. And so she was like, I need to be okay with this first. And like, now I'm like, okay, are you going to date again? Because you've been over here for a while. Now she's like in this bubble. And I'm like, she's like, nobody let
saran wrap.
Yeah. But whenever she's ready, she'll do it. But I think it really can jade you. Like, you can get jaded so fast because
because
like
if you
hurtful.
open up to them and you tell them like what you've been through, then you have a meltdown thinking like, how could you do this to me? Like, what I just got out of? Like, how could you do this to me? Like, I had you around my kids, and so then you just have to realize like, it's not about me. It has nothing to do with me. It's about them, and it's about their own insecurities. And they're going to have to deal with that. Like, how they treat people is a reflection upon them.
Exactly right. So what's your year going to be like in dating? Like, what's the plan? You just having fun, hanging out?
I mean, I'm having fun. I'm going on
like,
dates.
Actually, like,
it's become comical to me, too.
It's actually kind of perfect because you're 50-50 with Spency. And so you have these days. Like, most people don't have that luxury of time. You know what I mean? So what do the single girlies do that don't have that? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, you actually have that.
Yeah.
You can go out, meet somebody real quick and be like, be out of there.
Well, when you jump, like, and it was the same, like, when I look at it, like, I immediately jumped into a relationship, like, with what I thought was a friend right after, like, in my separation, and that was, like, a hot mess.
But you kept saying you needed a distraction.
Yeah, I did. It was a good distraction. And he's, like, honestly, we'll probably still be friends. Like, we still talk as friends now, but I just, like, and I wasn't in a good place either. It wasn't all him, right?
Yeah,
I was in a terrible emotional wreck, right? But the last two things that I got into were not the right thing because I didn't give myself time to heal.
Yeah.
I didn't give myself time. Like, when you jump into something immediately, like, you're at high risk for it. Just like, you're going to repeat the patterns. And my counselor told me that, but my hard-headed ass didn't want to listen to her. You know what I mean?
2025, more counseling sessions.
Right.
More listening to my counselor.
Right. Because you're like, the statistics show when you've been with a narcissist, you're high risk, and the likelihood of getting with another narcissist, if you don't heal yourself and take the time, is like over 80%. Yeah. And I did it twice already.
That's
so
scary.
There won't be a third time. But I always want to see the good in people.
So whenever you're in the counseling session, can you ask? I mean, I guess you can. I've been in counseling sessions. Like, what are you looking for? Like,
girl, you know what to look for.
But they're hiding it so well.
Well, I get it. He did. The last one.
So what are you actually looking for?
Well, you look for when their mask falls off. It took him 4.5 months.
It just takes time.
That takes time.
So it just takes time.
Some people can mask for
down.
a year, 2 years, 18 months.
Well, that's scary.
Yeah, right. And it just is what it is. But it is. But when they show you who they really are, And people aren't perfect, right? Like,
No.
I'm going to have a bad day.
Nobody's perfect.
Right. I might yell. I might get upset. I might argue with you. I might do whatever. But we had none of that. Zero of that. Like, zero. So I'm like, okay, so this is crazy. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you flipped the script. Like, and now you act like I have the plague. And I'm like, I'm not doing this, you know? But I know the warning signs, and it immediately was like, As to where now, like when I'm dating and like I'm talking to men, I'm like, skirt, next.
And communication
block,
is
delete.
so important. It's the like one thing that's going to keep your relationship together.
Yeah.
So if somebody can't like communicate through a tough spot, and they just tuck their head and they run and they can't have these, I'm not doing this and blah, 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 blah. Like, that is such a red flag to me.
Well, and it's like learning conflict resolution. So, like, even with the last guy, right? We had a couple, like, I mean, no fighting, but like literally, like, had a couple discussions, really, is all they were. Like, and so
Discussion.
and I like left there thinking, like, this is like super healthy, you know, like we just talk through that like big people. But then when
like big people.
Yeah. So my sister was like telling me, she's going, you need some conflict. You need to make sure that you can have conflict resolution. But then when the conflict really came, because before I think it was all an act. It was like, oh, I'm going to act like we've got some conflict. And it really wasn't. I was like, this is like no big deal.
You were like, girl.
Yeah. I was like, I wasn't
bro,
even,
this is
he's
nothing.
apologizing for what? Like, but I also was like not ever used to getting an apology. So I wasn't used to someone saying they were sorry.
It's so funny because like when you're with somebody or you're for so long and you get out of that, it's almost like you do like that. The next person can do one thing that the other one never did. It could be so bare minimum, like I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, you said I'm sorry.
I
you know what I mean? But you're like,
oh my gosh, they're amazing.
He said I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That we're like, whoa, you know, it's like my husband's great because you don't beat my ass, you know, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's like the bar is so low that you're just like, oh, you're amazing.
I'm like, oh, you go to work every day? Like, oh, you clock in and clock out?
You have a job?
What? No way. Stop it.
Stop it.
I can't.
Are
you sure?
You pay your bill. Stop.
What? Are you sure?
Stop it.
What?
You don't cheat on your girlfriend?
What? I can't believe it. There's plenty of those out there, though, girl. Oh, my Lord. I've been on some great dates.
Gosh. I can't wait to see what 2025 holds for the Megan train.
Girl.
I can't wait to see.
Choo, choo.
Yes, I just finished Yellowstone.
Oh, yes,
The
girl.
last one ever.
Yes.
I'm very sad that it's over. Like, I'm...
Girl.
Did you watch it yet?
Not all of it, no. Don't tell me.
I just finished it yesterday.
So I got to go back and watch it. I've got like
processing
saved
it a little bit,
Christmas, so.
but I love the way it ended. I will say. So I'm looking for some new shows in 2025. If anybody's got any.
Do you watch on Netflix? Do you watch?
I've got all of them.
Girl.
That's another goal for 2025. Me and Gabe probably each pay for each.
Yeah.
We don't know who's logged into what. Like we have to sit down
you need to go
and
through
like
credit cards.
We got to sit down and be like, okay.
You're
Let's cancel
paying.
some of these. We're double paying. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have double logins and double paying and, all the things. So we got to get all real over here.
I do that every year. Like, do you know that like you can negotiate? So like usually at the beginning of the year, it's like a great time to do it. In my downtime in between now and the first of the year, I'll go through every one of my credit card bills and I'll look and see like what are charges at anything like, well, not just interest rates, but like, is there anything that's on auto? And then like, oh, am I using that? Oh, is it doubled? And do I have two of those Hulus and I didn't even realize?
You know there's an app for that, right?
Yeah, but I haven't used it. What is it?
Yeah. There's several. There's a couple different ones. There's like Rocket.
Is it Rock? I don't know.
I don't remember. There's several of them, but you can
log
into your accounts and it'll tell you how much you're paying on these subscriptions and you can cancel through the apps. Like you don't even have to like go through all the stuff.
Yeah, I just go through my
credit cards. I
credit
don't have to
cards.
cancel my gym membership. I don't have one.
Me neither.
I do want to get healthier though. I mean, I just feel like I'm not working out.
Girl, you look great.
Well, thank you. I'm not working out though. And I'm not like.
You are enough. You are enough. You don't
I
have to
want to live
out.
longer.
Well, I mean, that's okay. But I'm like, can't we just like give it 10 years? They'll have like a shot they give us and we'll live for like another 100. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Science.
Yeah. And who needs help?
Yeah, we're never going to get wrinkles. I'm not getting old. Like, you're kidding me? I'm going to be like this. What? What'd you say? Huh? Yeah, no. As long as I can get surgery, I'm getting it. Yes, ma'am.
So what's some more goals that you got, Meg?
You know, like, besides working on myself and my inner self. And
We need another
work,
book to read because I love it when we do a book together. You just eat that shit up.
I know.
You're so good.
I don't even like to read, but
if you get you a good self-help book that you're interested in.
Yeah, because I actually apply the self-help.
You actually apply it and you actually do it.
Yeah.
It's like, a lot of people are like, read them and they don't. You actually like do it. We got to find
do it.
That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
We need to do another one.
You're in charge of that.
Yeah.
Put that on that.
I'll do that. I'll put that on my list. Yeah. I'm moving my studio.
That's a big one for you.
I am getting it together this year.
I think it's too, like we talked about it last episode, like finding the good, even in a bad or tough year. But it's like I want to go in and I'm not going to be so fixated on like, oh, please let it be a good year. Please let it, nothing. Because something bad's going to happen.
There's always something, right?
Something's going to happen. I mean, you know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, I'm just going to have to shuck and jive and maneuver around. And it's a little learning curve. I'm learning to date after 20 years. You know what I mean? Like I'm like a teenager trying to learn to date again. And I was terrible at dating 20 years ago. Clearly. So I got myself into the mess.
Oh my gosh. We got to find out what your dating rating is.
Dating rating? What is that? Is this another app for me?
No.
You and these apps.
I love a good app, but remember how you were telling me on the app that you could see what people are like rating them?
Oh, I'm sure it probably says bitch.
What
bitch.
does yours say on the other end?
I've been hanging up on people in mid-sentence, blocking them and deleting them in a parking lot.
Wait, stop. So, like, if you're on the phone with somebody and they say something that
crazy, a red flag,
you will just hang up.
I just hang up.
Say, like, I'm going to let you go. No. I'm not comfortable with that.
No, I don't have minutes to waste. For what?
You have unlimited minutes.
No, I don't have minutes in my life to waste anymore. Like, I'm not doing that. No. Block, delete. I went for a drink with a guy. I blocked him in the parking lot. I got in my car and was like, absolutely not. He's in the parking lot going.
So what app is it that shows you
Facebook dating?
Okay, so I'm
on Hinge and Facebook dating.
Does any guy out there on Facebook dating that can show us her rating?
Like mine's probably bad. Like my Uber scores. Like,
I bet you're 1 star,
girl. It's like you can make comments. I'm telling you, they probably put like, oh, I'm telling you, they probably say I'm a bitch. They probably say red flags for me because I'm like block, delete. But look, I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not judgmental at all. Like I'm really not. But like, if you got too many issues and it doesn't sound right, I'm not falling for that.
Well, no, we have standards. I mean, I don't think that's judgmental.
And I don't tell people I own a business. No, I don't. Right now, I'm just either say I'm a cashier at CVS.
I want you to get a beater card that you pull up
cashier
in, please.
CVS is my go-to. Steph told me to do that. Or I just say I'm a manager. I'm in insurance, but I'm a manager.
Yes. So that's what you say?
Yeah. Yes.
You got to take the watch off when you go.
I did. That night I blocked him.
You really did?
I sure did. I haven't been on one date with my watch on. Heck no.
No watch.
Nope.
No Cybertruck.
Nope.
No.
And if
you're a manager,
look, and I like if I go in one car, that's the car I'm going to go every time. I'm not going to switch cars. Like I'm not going to. No.
Yeah. No.
But it sucks because I'm so truthful. I feel like I'm hiding who I am.
It's okay though, because
at the beginning,
you can't draw in users.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think that is so easy.
Yes.
Easy to do. I think that's so appealing for people to be like,
and I'm so
what can I get? And you're so
like
nice.
As far as like one of my love languages is gift giving. So I'm like, I've got to stop with that. I got to stop leading and thinking that everybody is nice and kind because they're not. You know what I mean? They have ulterior motives. Taryn told me, he was like, he said, Mom, when are you going to realize that you're a golden goose? And I was like, what? And he was like,
what is this?
He's like, don't bring anybody to this house. Don't let them see your cars. Don't let them drive your cars.
Yeah.
Don't do any of that. You're a golden goose. He's right. I mean, my kid is 18 and he's so like grown. But I mean, he's right. But I was like, look, I just told him, I said, look, I don't need a dad. I need you to support. Like, you've got my location. I'm telling you I'm going on a date. He's called me in the middle of a date and been like, bring your ass home. You know, like he thinks he's my dad, but I told him, I'm like, look, this causes strife in our relationship. Like I need support. Like I'll, you know, like you don't have to hear about my dates or I'm not bringing anybody to this house, you know, again.
Yeah.
Like it's not, you know, I let one.
So that's a good goal for this year. Like some new boundaries for dating.
Yeah.
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 And like, I want to figure, and I've had this goal before, but I want to be more intentional with my kids. Like, I feel like they're getting older and you know this, like the older they get, they retreat to their room.
Right.
So Gabriel and I were talking the other night. I'm like, how are we going to get them? Like, and also their schedules are wild. So there's never one night where we're all at home to have dinner.
Yeah.
I think the only night is, I mean, I don't think we have one. Maybe
I require that. Like I require Taryn to come
if we
down
get a
and have
late
dinner.
Sunday night dinner, or like even if we have to do a lunch like on the weekend or something, we're gonna have to find a day that's like a not negotiable for them to like. They have to come down, but like we're gonna have to find ways like how we have the dating cards, like when the conversation cards and stuff like that. We're going to have to implement like family ones or something because Kaysen is so quiet and like they're just so like in their own world.
And every kid is different. So my sister, she's great at, you know, saying like,
maybe
look,
I should get her advice
boys
from
are good at like talking in the car. So like going to get a coffee or like going on a ride.
So me and Kaysen go to Swig and I'll always tell Gabe like me and Kaysen are going to Swig and it's like, or Starbucks, or I'll tell Gabe like, no, I like to take him. It's my only time he'll say like talk to me, and so he'll be like, okay, I know you like your car rides, you know, because he's always trying to help or whatever. But it is true. Boys are better in the car, and like you have to get him to put his phone down.
Yeah.
And like we had went to dinner a few months ago, me and just all the kids, and it was funny because Olivia said cell phone tower, and I was like, "What is that?" And they all stacked their phones together in the middle, and then nobody can touch their phones. And I really liked it because they were actually like,
I don't know why I don't make my kids do like, well, not Spencer, she doesn't have, but her tablet, you know, but I make my staff do that when like Monday, I'll do the cell phone tower. Like they all have to like be clocked in, you know.
Yeah.
We're all 17 going to be just chilling. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think that I'm going to start, we're really trying to find one night or one day that we do that, either a movie night in the movie room or just a dinner or whatever that is where we are unplugged.
That kind of stuff creates like to where they also want to come back home, you know, like how Haley wants to come over for Sunday in the summertime and we all swim, you know, like they want to come for family
like
days.
Our kids love being at our house and I want to keep
traditions.
that. Yes. We have our Sunday fun days. We have, and that's what like our goal is just to like keep creating those. And I think it's because we never really had those ourselves. Like with our family, we came from kind of like wild childhoods, like both of us. So that's like something we bond on. But it's also something that I think that we always crave that we want so that we're wanting it with our kids. So that's going to be a big goal this year is just finding guys, like 1 hour of your whole week. You know what I mean? To just be with us. You know what I mean?
Maybe get the girls together because you always like to do like a vision board. Maybe it might be fun to do one with Haley and Olivia and Maddie.
Because that's another thing that I always do at work. I do the vision board every single year.
With the girls.
And
I think the girls
would
like it.
Idea. Look at you.
Yeah, girl.
And then we like can have that every year.
Absolutely.
Oh.
I love that.
Would you do a vision board?
I would.
You would?
Yeah, have me come over. I'll do it with y'all.
Maybe you can do our vision boards with us.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. It's a plan. It's a new tradition.
We were looking at lights in like Highland Park and stuff, and we drove by a house and it had like the girls in the car were like, "Oh my God, look, they have like a parking garage underneath the house," and you could see it. Like you go down like, and it's in the basement, and you could see the cars parking. It was all lit up because all the houses in Highland Park they don't really have curtains. You know, like that's kind of the vibe there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna get me one of those parking garages. You wait and see.
Hey, that's a goal.
Yeah,
a parking garage that goes under.
I need it because I can't get any more cars.
Yeah, you and Gabe y'all gotta come up with a plan.
Plan.
Yeah, we got to get us that compound.
I've
been sending him like TikToks with like family compounds and stuff. I'm like totally into this right now. We got to find the right spot.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that's a goal. That's a further
total
goal, but that's a good goal.
Let's get it.
Yeah, we know you got a 4-year-old.
Okay, well, I'm so glad we're going into this new year together, Bill.
We are. I'm so
I hit the microphone.
We're a year in.
I know.
We're happy birthday to us.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, can you believe we made it?
We did. We made it.
We
We're just
made
getting
it.
started.
We are.
Just getting started.
Yeah, I love a new year.
I do.
Happy New Year.
I love
Megan.
you.
I'm really proud of you. I'm
Oh.
grateful for you.
Stop it. I'm going to cry. Stop it.
Really?
Yes, I love you. Yes.
We haven't cried at all.
I know. I'm so proud.
Look
But don't
at
start
us,
talking to
like-
my heart. Like, I will.
I just love
I am
you.
so thankful for you. I couldn't have made it through the last year without you.
Mhm.
Like,
I couldn't have either.
literally.
I'm like very
Literally.
grateful for you.
We're lifers.
Cheers to 2025.
Yes,
I'm
ring in the new
happy
year.
to be here.
Me too.
See what Got Her Back has in store.
Follow us on
Happy
all our
New Year.
socials.
And thank you for listening. And follow you,
Megs Unfiltered. And follow
Inspired by
you.
Carrie, and Got Her Back podcast. And we will see you next Monday. Bye.
Bye.